Dr. Sweeten is a board-certified pediatrician and the owner of Midtown Pediatrics of Memphis. She is a proud graduate of Tennessee State University, where she graduated with honors with a Bachelor's of Science in Biology. She graduated with her medical degree from the University of Tennessee Health Science Center and completed her internship and residency training at LSU Health Science Center in New Orleans, Louisiana. She has been practicing pediatrics in Memphis for over 23 years. As a pediatrician, she believes in preventative medicine, and if you teach them at a young age to care for themselves properly, hopefully they will carry that same mindset in adulthood. Thank you for being here, and here's Dr. Sweeten.
Good segue, okay, but let me just add a few points to what Pat said earlier. So with depression, well, first of all, you know, the mind is like the strongest organ you have, right? The mind is gonna it can tell you, I cannot move, and nothing is wrong with you, but you will sit there all day and not get up because your brain is telling you you cannot move. Then, on the other hand, it's very fragile, because we always say it's a thin line between, and I hate to say this because it's not politically correct, but insanity and sanity. It's very, very, very fine. And so we have to, my portion here is really talking about self-care, okay? So I found a few articles, I'm gonna hand them out in a minute, but I'm gonna highlight a few and then we'll tie it all into what you can do, okay? So one of it, this is the beginning of the article, it says, what is self-care? So self-care is just basically the practice of taking care of your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual aspects of your life to promote health and wellness, right? So nowadays, we are forever connected. We are more interconnected now than we have been ever in life due to social media. Yet, we are so much disconnected than we were. It's creating us, it's making us become more antisocial in actuality. You know, because you can get on there and you see all, you know where everybody going, what they ate, what they have on, but you hadn't talked to us, so you had to talk to one person, right? So the first thing for me is that we always have to disconnect. We're gonna have to put the phones down. We need to, unless you call me, your friend, to check on them and say, hey girl, come on, let's go. We haven't done, we need to do, how you doing, what's going on, right? And we all get guilty of it because it's life. We wear many hats, right? And each hat has a different personality. So when I'm at work, I'm Dr. Sweeten, I'm giving you medical advice. Once I step off work and I'm at home, I may be the mama, there's no medical advice. There is none, right? Girlfriends, we may have some beverages, there's no medical advice. It's a totally different personality that we wear, and we're in a room, all women. So as women, we wear all these hats, right? And everybody is expecting for you to change it. You know, you at work, your baby calling. Hold up, wait a minute. What's wrong? Okay, do something. So you gotta put your mama hat on real quick. Now you gotta go back and say, okay, let's teach this class, sit down, you do. Every day, all day, we're constantly doing this. That means most of the time, we're putting somebody else in front of us. So self-care is just saying, no, I need to do me first. I need to balance me out first so that I can balance out all these other roles that I'm responsible for. So if we look at it in a different way, so we have our physical self-care. So what would be an example of taking care of yourself physically? This is a very easy question. Come on. So the cheapest, easiest form of exercise, there are two different ones. It's walking. Right? There are days, so I invested in a Peloton a few years ago, and I love my Peloton. I'm on the bike, I'm working it out. You can't tell right now, but I have great legs. I have worked the legs, right? But I enjoy walking outside. So I feel like I'm cheating on my bike when I'm walking outside. But if it's a great day, first of all, the benefits of walking outside is that, especially because nobody walks in the rain, right? You might accidentally run in the rain because you start off and start running, right? But walking, you're in the sunlight, you're getting the vitamin D, which is making you feel better. So if you have the seasonal affect disorder, as soon as the weather starts to change, where it's like, ooh, all right, when I wake up, it's not dark, so I can get up and walk, I may feel safe to do that. Or when I get home from work, it's not dark, so I can get home, change my clothes, and go walk. The sun is gonna make you feel better. God has said, put this vitamin D in here, it's gonna help you with your moods, it's gonna help you with your hormones, it's gonna help you with your bones. There's one thing, it has all of these effects on us. So, go outside and walk. And we have done the Deltas in this community, the White Havens get together, and the Midtowners get together. So you set up a group, say, hey girl, come on. We're going to go, and we're gonna walk, and we're gonna, that's the first thing, all right? Now, social self-care. What would be an example of that? Come on, just don't drink too much. And if you are, don't drive. Let your friends drive, right? But yes, you have to get out. We have to be social, right? And I recognize that we get busy. Life, it happens. It's life. You know, it's doing this thing every day. I'm like, we are in mid-May. It was just January. I promise. At New Year's Eve party, having a good time. Now, you know, we're about to have another holiday come up. So it's speeding through. So you gotta take the time to slow it down. And be like, okay, girlfriend, same groups, right? You got your White Haven, your Midtowners, you got your East Memphis. Okay, let's meet somewhere. Let's go. There's a lot of stuff going on. So, in this social health care, or self-care, what I did a couple weeks ago, I said, okay, things to do in Memphis. So this weekend, this Saturday, 2 days from now, there's a Bartini event that's on Harbor Town. I said, okay, I got these tickets right here, I can do this. Now, please don't judge me, because all these things are around drinking. Please don't judge me, okay? I work with kids. I love it, but you know. So anyway, so June 1st, there's a margarita festival. Oh. Then we have, I'm telling you, there's a bunch of stuff to do. Yeah. And so, you have no reason to sit in the house. Yeah. Right? Now, if you're feeling that way, where you just like, okay, girl, and you talking to you, okay, I just can't do it, I'm tired, that's one thing. But if you know you're not tired, and you've been taking care of yourself, you've been meeting and walking and doing, then you have got to call somebody, say, come on, let's go out. I need to get out of my house, because it's easy for us, you know? Now, mental self-care. Give me an example of that. Okay? Meditation. Yoga. So, you decide, because with the Peloton, of course, it comes with an app. So meditation is one of them. I fall asleep on meditation. The 30-minute one, I put it on there, especially if I haven't had time to walk, because then it's like, okay, I get credit for the Peloton, even though I'm like sleep. So I fall asleep about 10 minutes in it. It has done its purpose, right? So we have to prepare ourselves and reset so that we can be ready for the next day. Because we don't really know what the next day is gonna hold. As soon as you walk in the office, you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know what these kids gonna be doing or saying, right? But we have to find our balance, all right? Now, this is the easy one, spiritual self-care. Church. So all of us believe in a higher being. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm guilty of not going all the time, but I am on the Zoom, and I have watched the church. I've been in my church here, which is Brown. I have been to Nashville, to Mount Zion. I've been enjoying them. So, but you want to connect with a spiritual being, right? You want to make sure that connection is there, because then that's another social group, right? So, we are trying to make sure we stay balanced, right? Because it's so easy to get tilted in one direction, and then we're losing ourselves, right? Now, emotional self-care. Give me an example of that. Right? Hugging. Right? So we have to recognize that when we're in a state mentally where we're like, okay, I'm kind of seeing some signs of some things that Ms. Pat has already talked about. And again, we have the stigma of it in our community, right? When it comes to mental health. Like I see it on the ADHD kids, right? I have more parents that come like, what you think about the medicine? I'm like, it's wonderful. Right? Because when it works, right? And it's just like, it's amazing. I said, so I had this one doctor who was, I had never met this man before. I was working at the urgent care, trying to do a little extra things at the time. And white gentleman came over to the pediatric side. He was on the adult side. He came over, he was like, look, you don't know me, and I don't know you, but my son is in college. He has run out his ADHD medication, and it's time for his finals. When he get back, he gonna go to his doctor. But he needs some medicine so he can make it through. I said, I got you. Today, if I had to pick him out of a lineup, I wouldn't know his name. They have no fear. They have no concern about what people think. They're quick to tell you, look, my child got ADHD. We were on a flight coming back from Los Angeles. So the school is Bowie. Ridgeway. I had never heard of school. So a little white gentleman sitting there, talking to this lady next to him, and he's telling his whole life, basically. So one parent lives in California, the other parent lives in Memphis. And he has ADHD really badly, and his mother, somebody found in school. Now I got a son with ADHD. I'm like, I've never heard of this place, right? So he's like, yeah, in the class, there may be about maybe 3 or 4 students, and I'm having the best educational opportunity I could get. I was like, what? He is talking to a stranger. And we get so caught up with our family. We don't want family to know the baby got ADD. You know, well, you know, Chris got ADD. He ain't on this medicine. That's why we are embarrassed to say that. Why? And I try to tell parents, I'm like, to me, ADD, and I know this is an adult section, but it's like putting a kid in a class in Times Square with a teacher that's writing on the board and all this traffic and activity. Baby, they are not listening to that, period. But they are everywhere, right? But we're like, oh, I don't want people to think, baby, it's the baby's brain, it's how it's functioning, it's okay. And the other thing about it is, if you get the child on the right medication, as an adult, they're less likely to try drugs than they were if you don't have them on the right medicine. Because then they smoke some weed and be like, this is how I'm supposed to be. I'm single. I can cry. And then, you know, depending on their personality and what else, you know, because there are other factors, you know, that go into people doing other drugs. You know, some people, they do marijuana. You know, everybody knows there's somebody in this room. Know somebody that's been smoking weed for 40 years, and they ain't done nothing else. They'll get a beer, they may have a drink and a weed, and they're good. Then you got the other person, he smoked weed for 2 days, and now he on crack, and you're trying to figure out what happened. Lord, somebody laced it, you know? You're trying to process it, you know? So we as black people have to start to get past all of what that mental health stuff means to us. Then we go get the help. Because to me, I tell people, look, and this is my joke, and I'm saying it because I'm in a room with black women, and I don't have the white people there. I said, my therapist is a white man because the black woman has carried everybody's problems all this time. I want a white man to feel how I feel. I want to get understand. I mean, no I search for him. I'm like, I love all the therapists, but I want him to have understanding. Yes, everybody should know. It's no idea. Go in there, lay down, tell these people what's going on in their life, and then get up and be like, I'll see you next week. I'm feeling good, right? There's nothing to it. But that goes with our self-care, right? We have to decide, okay, I'm getting a little overweight, so let me get to the doctor, get to know my numbers. Then I can deal with it. We get so many people who say, like, oh, I don't want to know. What? Okay, so you want to just sit there and have that. Yeah. Versus somebody saying, oh girl, your blood pressure is a little high, you need to take some medicine, we can come down on the weight. It's a million medications out here now that people are taking. You know, get the shot and 2 days later you're locked in. You know, it is amazing. You know what I'm saying? But for real, everybody get caught up in what it looks like. So we have to have our self-care, and this is another thing. That's a different thing. Yeah. So it's just the two artists, because I want y'all to be able to answer some questions, trying to make sure I'm doing okay with that. Oh, I got some more time. So now the other thing I want to talk about really quickly, because I'm still on self-care, but we all have heard a story, and they're very similar, but it's like one is 5, another is 4. They do say some different stuff. Okay. But we all have heard stories where you'll have a couple where they've been married for however long, and it's just been them, and then one of the two passes away. Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, so did you need some help?
It's okay, Miss Pat.
The bottom, the bottom of the bag.
I got your bag.
The bottom.
See, this is that what is down here. Yes. Okay, so now. We're gonna get her some. We're gonna get
Sometimes we get some help to work it out. We get some help.
I'm all into next year.
She in the class in New York.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but we all know somebody who, or have heard stories where there was a couple who, were married for however long. One of the two passed away, and then the other one passed away from lonely heart. Right? That's all mental. And so, if you can will yourself to die like that, where it's just like, I can't make it, and it was always like, and then next thing you know, you see all the help just go down. So if you get it in your head, like, okay, you know what, I can beat this. It doesn't matter what the diagnosis is. Like, I went to church with this lady, and you know what I'm talking about, I'm not gonna say that. But one of our former church members had depression first. Then she ended up with breast cancer. She would go to her chemotherapy and go to work. I was like, man, you are amazing. She was like, depression was worse than cancer. She's like, I couldn't get out of bed with depression. I beat that. So if your brain can do that to you and have you, when you got something in your body that could actually really take you away, and you're on medicine that could take you away, and you can beat that, we have the will in us to do anything that we need to do. And we can tell ourselves, okay, you know what, today ain't my day. I've had a bad day. It's been a crazy day. People have been doing some real inner stuff. But I've had a good day, because I'm here. Right? I am standing right here. I'm talking to you. I'm breathing. I got the opportunity to interact with friends, co-workers, colleagues, whatever the case may be, our relationship. And I'm gonna go home and I made a glass of wine. And I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna pay it. So that's in us trying to keep our balance. The other thing is social media. We have to be careful with that beast. So I had this one parent who, and she used to go to church too, but she has 3 daughters. 2 of the 3 daughters have master level, PhD level, right? So one has a master's, one has a PhD. The baby girl, she living her life, right? Her best life, whole life. So this is my grandparent at this age, right? So the grandparent is there, and she's like, oh, not that I'm jealous of the other people when their kids are graduating and they're posting these things, but I feel some kind of way. I said, now, you have 3 kids. 2 of them have higher level degrees. The baby is doing what babies do. Live their best life. I said, she calling you, asking, no, she's not. Okay, so what's the real problem? I said, so if you're 50-something, having a problem, because you feeling some kind of way because one baby didn't do what you thought she was supposed to do, what do you think the teenagers, how they feeling? That you grown. So mentally, you should be able to be like, okay, you know what, I did a pretty good job as mom. This baby's making her own decisions. She's living her own best life, right? But teenagers, they'll be like, oh my God, Baby, she took 35 pictures to put that one smiling picture where everything looks perfect. Then she got filters. And you sad because your hair or your face or your this don't. This we have got to disconnect because that is killing us too. And we see it all the time.
Yeah.
Where you have these people with influencers killing themselves. You have people who have higher positions and doing different things. Like unfortunately, like who was the Miss USA, the black woman who, jumped out the building. Then there was another one from Alabama. She jumped. So we have got to learn how to disconnect. We have got to learn how to balance. And then the other thing is that sometimes we have to take off some of these hats. Depending on the age of your children. My kid's grown, praise God. He will do it for you. But sometimes, you leave work, so you think, okay, well, we got half of them, so-and-so got this program, then we gotta do this, then we got some homework to do. I need to finish my project for work. And so you line up your whole night. Before you walk in the house, turn the car off, sit in the car, and be like, okay, all right, Lord, it's me and you, and I'm going in this house once I clear my mind. Or somebody got in trouble in school, you don't want to go and kill them as soon as you come in, right? You know what I'm saying? So you got to take some time out for you, whether you drive around, I was driving around the neighborhood sometimes. They're like, okay, I've driven around enough, they're going to be calling me in a minute, what you doing? So, right, so I've had some parents, they'll how many kids they have, we like, give a couple minutes per child, right? So that's how long you get to sit in your car. So like, mama getting her 30 minutes, y'all be in a minute, right? Because that's another hat you gotta put on, right? I gotta take it out, right? And then obviously at some point in time, we have to take a break from really it all. So you need to take a vacation. So whether it be, okay, I'm single, I can take with my girlfriends, we're gonna do this, we do this once a year, every year we plan it, we have a great time. So you build up the anticipation to that, at whatever time of the year it is, right? Or it's your family and y'all go out, the whole family gets together. But plan a break away. And then while you're away, get off the phone. You can take your pictures. So when you get back home, you post them so people won't break the house like a gun. But don't even watch it. So, but you have to figure out different ways where it's just like, okay, I have got to keep this balance. And then when you have a job that's really, and not to say that anybody's job is any less stressful than the other, because they all are, Whatever it is you do, being a Delta, we're gonna do it in perfection, right? We're gonna give our best at all times. And so that's pressure you putting on yourself, right? I did really well on this project last time, so they expected for me to do it, and I got to come in and I'm doing it. That's all I do. That's fine, great, you'll be rewarded for that. But at some point in time in your life, during your day, your week, you're gonna say, okay, take my time for me. I'm gonna walk around the lake at Shelby Farm, and I'm gonna walk real slow. I ain't out here racing anybody. I'm walking, taking in all the elements, all the sun, all that this experience is bringing to me. I'm gonna speak to people I've never spoken to before, and I'm going to relax. And then when I get home, I'm gonna have a glass of wine, and then go shower, go to bed. Okay? Now, any question? I think we had a question point. Yes. So questions about anything